Welcome to this week's Leather Tip Tuesday video. Now this question comes from one of our emailed questions by Mo. Mo asks, how do you create a tooling design and then add it to your leather? Tracing paper rips so easy, but regular paper doesn't let me place it well. So Mo, let's hit a few of these points in your question here. One, how to create a tooling design. That will go in more depth on in another video, but you can either buy patterns or draw them yourselves. There's your two main answers to that. And today we're gonna work with a pattern that's already done up here and talk about how to actually transfer that to the leather. And again, creating patterns, we're gonna dive into that into future videos as well. But the first thing we're gonna wanna do is wet our leather down. And that's gonna allow this pattern to transfer, whether you're transferring it like we're showing here, where we're gonna use a stylus to transfer, or if you check out some of our other videos, we talked about doing a tap off and a tap off pattern. That's another strategy, but we still wanna wet that leather down. Now, as we see that water's taking a second to absorb in there, tells me our moisture content's doing really well. We're getting plenty of moisture in there. Now our pattern here, Mo asked about regular paper versus tracing paper because the tracing paper rips easy. Well, in my opinion, the regular paper will rip easy as well. And so to protect that, what I do is use a clear packing tape. Just nothing fancy, just this clear packing tape, and I put that on the front and the back. Now you could do that with tracing paper as well, allow you to still see through that. There's also paper that you can get, vellum, or I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but it's a plastic type of paper. You can run it through your printer and print your patterns out on a paper that you can see through to help you with your placement. For me, I like doing paper patterns here, whether it's a pattern that I just drew onto paper or if it's one of my patterns that I'm printing off, I still print that on regular paper. And then we tape that front and back, again, protecting that pattern. Now, as far as placement on that goes, I usually have that drawn or cut to fit right into a border of some sort, so right on the edge here. Or if we wanted to, we could cut in really close to your pattern, so then you can place that in the middle of a big pad folio or however you want. But most times I find there's an actual edge or a border somewhere, even on a shap yoke, and you have a curved line down there, there's a line that we can cut on our pattern so it fits to that. So that's the way I keep that in place. Now, for what I'm using to transfer, this is just a little ballpoint stylus here. And if you don't have this, you can use an ink pen, will work as well. I don't prefer the ink pen just because ink around your leather risks getting on something. So, you know, if you go and draw over all your pattern and you're using your fingers to hold that down, you could have ink on your fingers and transfer that to your leather. So if you don't have a stylus and are gonna use an ink pen, I really would recommend one that's ran out of ink, or just sit there and run one out. If you got a kids, have them color a full piece of paper for you. It'll run one out in a hurry. But either one we're using, now we're gonna simply go over our lines, pushing down into the leather. And I don't have to push super hard because that leather's wet down, it's gonna take that impression. Now, if we tried it on dry leather, you wouldn't get an impression, right? So it's really important that we use wet leather to actually get that impression down there. But again, whether we're gonna trace through the paper that we've taped over here, or if you use tracing paper and want to tape over that tracing paper to give it a little more strength, or print off on that vellum. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but either way, I don't have any here I'd show you, but I don't use it. I use paper here. So again, it's another option though. I know some people really like that option. Again, they have more confidence being able to see through that pattern there. But I find that For me, I really like just running with the regular paper, and then if I need to check and see if I've gone over a line or not, then it's really easy for me just to keep something held down. As long as I have some fingers held down on there, I can lift that up, check for my lines, look, see if it's looking right, flop that back down. I can lift and check this side if we need to as well. So then it's easy to see, oh, there's something missing on here. Well, because we haven't finished that side yet, right? So we can transfer those lines. Yep, now it looks like we got them all. Finish that border line there. Obviously this pattern doesn't fit this piece of leather, it's just something for an example for the video, but it gives you the idea of what that's like to transfer that pattern on there. Again, how I use it, or how I do it using the paper. Most importantly though, taping that front and back is really going to help protect that. And again, whether that's tracing paper or your regular printer paper, that's going to work the same for you. So that'll hopefully help you there. But then you have a nice guideline with your lines that allows you to follow with your swivel knife and go ahead and cut your pattern in. Now again, we talked about other options being a tap off option for transferring your leather. So be sure to check out the other YouTube video we have on the channel about creating and using tap offs. So that's another neat option, especially if you're going to be using the same pattern repeatedly. Cuts down on a lot of your time transferring that pattern by tracing it out. So Mo, thank you for the great question. Can't wait to see you guys on another Tip Tuesday. Be sure that you subscribe to our email list, where it gives you the chance to answer some of these questions, or ask some of these questions that are getting answered in these YouTube videos. So love to have you part of that email community with us as well. We'll put a link in the description of here that will get you to that email joining list. As far as joining that list, you also get a free belt pattern. So that'll be just kind of an added perk of being part of that email community. So appreciate you guys following along. Be sure to turn on those notifications so you never miss another video.